It was a moment that changed her life forever. Standing at the counter, her heart sinking as her card was declined. But what happened next? That's where the real story begins. This simple coffee shop encounter wasn't just about an embarrassing moment for a struggling college student. It became the beginning of a powerful journey she'd never forget. Before we dive into this heartwarming tale, make sure to hit that subscribe button to join us here at Stories Unfolded. We share life-changing stories like this one every week. Stories that prove small acts of kindness can spark incredible transformations. Don't miss out. It was early morning, and the air was crisp with the scent of autumn leaves. The coffee shop on the corner of Maple Avenue was already buzzing with activity. Customers came and went. The baristas moved quickly behind the counter, and the comforting hum of the espresso machine filled the space. Among the crowd was Emily, a college junior who had been burning the candle at both ends. Emily's life wasn't easy. Between attending her classes, holding down a part-time tutoring job, and studying for exams, her days were a blur of exhaustion and stress. She worked tirelessly to make ends meet, sending part of her meager paycheck home to help her single mom cover household expenses. That morning, Emily walked into the cafe with a heavy heart and an even heavier backpack. She had just received an email reminding her of her overdue tuition balance, a balance she had no way of paying off anytime soon. Still, she hoped that her usual cup of coffee would give her the energy to face the day ahead. Emily approached the counter with a tired smile and glanced at the menu. She always ordered the same thing, a medium latte with almond milk. Nothing fancy, but just enough to wake her up. As she pulled out her worn-out wallet, she silently prayed she had enough to cover it. Jason, the friendly barista on duty, greeted her with his usual warm smile. Jason had worked at the cafe for years and had developed a keen eye for recognizing when someone was having a rough day. He noticed Emily right away. Her tired eyes, the slouch in her shoulders, and the way she seemed to be mentally calculating every penny she spent. "Hey there," Jason said cheerfully. "Medium latte with almond milk, right?" Emily nodded, grateful for the small comfort of being remembered. "Yeah, thanks." Jason rang up the order, and Emily handed over her debit card. But as he swiped it, the machine emitted a loud beep. Declined. Jason looked at the screen, then back at Emily, his smile faltering slightly. "I'm sorry," he said softly. "It says your card was declined." Emily's face turned bright red. She quickly reached for her phone, fumbling to open her banking app. Her worst fears were confirmed. Her balance was down to just $1.78. Not enough for even the smallest coffee on the menu. Her stomach sank, and she felt a wave of humiliation wash over her. I don't have enough right now," she stammered, her voice barely audible. It's fine. I'll come back later." But Jason didn't hesitate. He'd seen this kind of struggle before, and he knew how hard it was to ask for help. Before Emily could step away, he smiled and said, "Hey, don't worry about it. This one's on me." Emily froze. "What?" "No, I couldn't let you do that." "Seriously, it's fine," Jason said, his tone kind but firm. "Consider it a little pick-me-up. Everyone needs one now and then." Emily hesitated, tears threatening to spill from her eyes. She wasn't used to accepting help, but something about Jason's genuine kindness made her feel safe. "Thank you," she said softly, her voice cracking. I don't know what to say." Jason waved it off like it was no big deal. He quickly prepared her latte and handed it to her with a wink. "Have a great day, okay?" Emily found a seat near the window, clutching her coffee cup as if it were a lifeline. She stared out at the busy street, her mind racing. The coffee was delicious, but it wasn't the drink that brought tears to her eyes. It was the simple act of kindness from a stranger who didn't owe her anything. She thought about everything she was going through, the stress of her classes, the pressure of her unpaid bills, and the guilt of not being able to contribute more to her family. That latte represented more than just caffeine. It was a reminder that someone, even for a brief moment, had cared enough to see her and help her. What Emily didn't know was that Jason, too, had a story. Years ago, he had been in her shoes, broke, stressed, and struggling to stay afloat. Back then, a small act of kindness had made all the difference for him. A stranger had paid for his groceries when his card had been declined, and he had never forgotten the feeling of relief and gratitude. That moment had stayed with him, shaping his perspective on life and inspiring him to pay it forward whenever he could. Jason didn't think much about what he'd done for Emily that day. To him, it was just a small gesture, something anyone would do if they had the chance. But to Emily, it meant the world. The next day, Emily returned to the cafe with a folded piece of paper in her hand. She waited until Jason wasn't busy, and then approached the counter. "Hi," she said nervously. I wanted to give you this." Jason took the paper, his brow furrowed in curiosity. "What's this?" "Just a thank you note," Emily said quickly. "For yesterday. I really appreciated it." Jason unfolded the note and read it. It was simple, but heartfelt. "Thank you for your kindness. You reminded me that even on my hardest days, there's still good in the world. I hope I can be that kind of person for someone else someday." Jason smiled, deeply moved. He taped the note to the wall behind the counter, alongside other mementos from customers who had shared their gratitude over the years. But Emily's note stood out to him. It was a reminder of why he loved what he did. Weeks turned into months, and Emily's life began to change. Inspired by Jason's kindness, she started looking for ways to help others, no matter how small. She volunteered at a local food bank, helped classmates with their assignments, and always tried to pay forward the kindness she had received. On the day of her college graduation, Emily returned to the cafe, diploma in hand. She spotted Jason behind the counter and waved. "Hey," she said, beaming. "I made it." Jason smiled, instantly recognizing her. "Congratulations. That's amazing." Emily handed him a small envelope. "This is for you," she said. "Just a little thank you for everything." Jason opened the envelope to find a gift card and a note. "You believed in me when I didn't believe in myself. Thank you for reminding me that kindness can change everything." Jason was speechless. He looked at Emily, his eyes shining with pride. "You didn't have to do this," he said. "I wanted to," Emily replied. "You changed my life, Jason. I hope you know that." As Emily left the cafe, Jason felt a sense of fulfillment that words couldn't describe. He had simply done what felt right, but his small act of kindness had set off a ripple effect that went far beyond what he could have imagined. Thank you for watching this story. If it moved you, make sure to subscribe to Stories Unfolded. Every act of kindness has the power to create change, and together, we can inspire more of it in the world. See you in the next story.